Welcome to episode 18 of Korea Talk. We're going to go over the semifinals and the finals, and then briefly touch on the Kespa Cup and the round of 12, I believe it is. Yeah, the first round, the round of 12. So we are going to start off with the semifinals, and the first one, SKT versus Origin, 3-0. And what did you guys think of this one, besides Origin not playing great outside of the first game?
See,
Wait, wait, wait.
I don't even know if it was a case of Origin not playing great. Like, I do think that Origin came in with a strong plan of how to win.
Yeah.
In that first game, and I think that some of the players, like Niels, had a particularly kind of an impressive sort of period of performance in that game. But what I think you really saw in this was like we're more and more and more seeing the effect of how League of Legends is like a mental game. This idea of mentally grinding someone down, that kind of thing. I think when you go against a team that you know in the back of your mind, or even the forefront of your mind, is superior to you, once things start to go badly, that's it. Like, you're done. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to cause a massive upset, you kind of have to just sort of just switch off emotionally and just go at it. And I think Origin is incapable of doing that based on the players on their roster. I don't think they're the kind of team that can just go like, oh, we'll just switch off completely. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seemed like they couldn't reset after the first game.
Yeah.
They got close. They played pretty well. They broke an inhib turret, and they couldn't come back. Like they couldn't mentally refocus, reset after that. And specifically, I would say Xpeke and Soaz. We talked about it before. How with Origin needing to win, one of them has to show up, and neither really showed up at all. The entire series.
They tried, but like it's hard when your counterparts are that much superior to you and
Yeah.
better champion pools to country and stuff.
Just as a side note, last time we had the show, we had a certain European Robin on the show who said some quite outlandish things, and he said that he really liked the idea of, even though this panel was agreed that Easyhoon was actually a better Easyhoon was a fine matchup for Faker. Sorry, Easyhoon was a fine matchup for Xpeke.
Yeah, of course,
and from a strategic point of view, it would actually make sense to play Easyhoon because you could hide strategies for the final. And Easyhoon, the way that SKT play around Easyhoon is actually stylistically good against Origin. He made a statement that Origin were the favourites for him personally against SKT if they played Easyhoon. But that didn't really happen, did it? I mean, that wasn't the dumbest bet he made all week. That was definitely not the dumbest thing he even said all week. But it was kind of up there, you know what I mean?
We'll get to the dumber things, but yeah, I thought after the first game when the analysis desk came back, they were talking about how they were surprised by how well Origin stuck in it. I'm like, did someone on that desk not previously mention that SKT is just going to play Origin's game of you get a late game mage and you put him in the mid lane and you just scale and do nothing and you wait till one big fight and then you end it. That's exactly what they did. They just played Origin's game better the first game, and then the second two they just destroyed.
And one of the things I actually like about Easyhoon as a player, and what makes him quite unique, is he is amazing at stalling out a game. Like he is fucking god tier at that shit. Like if he had to think that he was legitimately like best in the world at it, it'd be stalling out a game. Like to the point where it doesn't actually matter how late on in the game it is and how much of a goal lead you got over Easyhoon. He might still find a way to just stall it out until your goal leads nothing. He's not going to make a big play that's going to fucking turn the game on its head, but he might find a way to just stall it for fucking 10 years, and then it's like, oh, it doesn't matter if you got a goal lead out, everyone's full items. Like, that's... So, like, when you're playing against Easyhoon, like, and you get a big lead, it doesn't really matter, because he's going to find a way to stall it out and win. Like, he's really good at it as well. Like, we've seen him do it for like 2.5 years. Like,
He doesn't even need Ziggs now.
No, he gets a zero, an even better 6.
This is what I feel like. Sometimes when I watch like Korean teams play, I feel like I'm actually the only person who's watched them for more than like 3 months. Like, I mean, I've watched Easyhoon play since his professional debut like 2.5 years ago. And you know what? He's the same player then as he was now.
Yeah.
He is now. It's just now the meta fits him better. Like when people talk, like it's not he hasn't stepped up particularly incredibly. He hasn't like diversified his champion pool particularly. He just has adapted it based on what the current meta is. Like that's it. That's Easyhoon for you.
Well, I think he's changed his champion pool to just champion X can clear waves and prevent it, like Ziggs. Now he plays champion Z, which is just a better version of champion X. And
No way.
he's very good at one style, which is why I would still say he's the best Zir in the world.
Yeah. Oh no!
Like,
Wait. Hold on a second. Coco.
Okay,
Yeah, we
Coco
have Coco.
exists. Forgot.
This
Yeah.
season will
He's the
run
best
second.
Azir on SKT.
Yeah,
Like-
sure.
Like
He's the
Coco-
best Azir on SKT.
Like this is what I always like about Coco is like if Faker's not the best in the world on a certain champion, then it's probably going to be Coco. And what I also saw at this tournament is I didn't see a mid laner other than Faker. I was like, that guy's definitely better than Coco. Like I actually think Coco got into this tournament. He just started bodying people left, right, and center, like he spent a whole fucking year doing. Like, so mad props to
Coco confirmed Elo hell.
Yeah, no,
Oh, yeah, we
that
did.
is the definition of Elo hell right there. Like, like that like Bjergsen could go on to TJ Entrance, right, with the fucking shit that Coco has to work with, and play an LCK, and they'd be a bottom 8 team. Like, he'd have fucking no chance of doing that. Coco was taking SKT to 5 games with fucking bodying people left, right, and center. Like, he has the best win rate of over any team He had the best win rate against SKT in
That's-
2015.
That's
Yeah.
true.
With the
Any
fucking
team.
shit that he has to work with. Look at the fucking
With space and shy
Yeah.
and ambition in the jungle.
Like, what kind of fucking nightmare scenario is this? Like
Horrible.
okay, so my top laner can only play Shen and loses every lane.
And Mundo sometimes.
My AD carry doesn't know how to position at all, and my jungler isn't even a jungler. He's a mid laner who was a bit shit.
He can play Nidalee pretty well.
Oh, and apparently I've got to beat some of the best teams in the world. Okay, I'm gonna manage this, aren't I? Like. All the while, this thing about Coco. All the while, people are like, no, Coco's not that good. There are much better mid laners in China. Oh yeah, there are fucking loads of them, aren't there? That Goldfeed guy or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
Rant over.
memes. Now the whole
So-
Origin series just like end up like them not ever being strong enough to close out versus SKT, who could who always pick late game and stall and won over better than team fights.
Is there anything else you need to do against Origin? I
Nope.
mean, if we look at game 1, they just picked pretty much a late game scaling comp that can just beat Origin in team fights, which is what Origin does. And then game 2, they played game 2 was pretty disgusting by Marin, I would have to say. And his Renekton was pretty outstanding this whole whole tournament. But it was, I would say, game 2 was not even close at all. And game 3 was hilarious when Faker just came in, played Ryze, and was like, "See ya.
Yeah.
I just gotta slay some bitches."
Like
Yeah, and like,
Game 2 and 3 were just so one-sided, it wasn't even funny.
and the problem with game 3 as well is like you're done at that point. Like,
oh yeah.
it's like you can't take a game off SKT with Easy Hoon. Well, they've just swapped in the best player in the world now. So not only are you down 0-2, but now SKT have just completely changed their entire play style and brought in the best player in the world. Like, you're done. You know, it's like you could see by that point Origin are mentally checked out. Like, with this series is over. Like, we're done. Like, props to Origin as well. You couldn't have had a better year for a new team. Like, you really couldn't.
No.
A Western
But
team.
they're not really a new team.
Okay, for a new organization.
What? It's only 2 players
I
from
just
the
mean-
old lineup.
There are 3 players that have gone to the semifinals before at Worlds.
Two.
Season 3.
Amazing, didn't?
Amazing Mythy didn't manage that.
Oh, sorry, 2 of
Yeah.
2 of 3.
Yeah, so you got when you break down
Semis,
Origin.
quarters, and then Mythy has always been known as good. I mean,
Yeah.
since Mythy played his first games, it was obvious he could play well.
Like, Origin are the kind of team that are dangerous in international competition because of the veteran presence on that lineup. There's a lot of fucking tried
That
and
helped
tested
them so good
mentality.
against Flash Wolves.
Yeah, like, you know, like I still maintain they should have lost that series to Flash Wolves, but they won it because they had the veteran power over Flash Wolves. Not that some of the Flash Wolves haven't been around for a while, but you can just see like there's a mark of quality there that there just wasn't in the Flash Wolves lineup, based on the way they're able to mentally keep themselves in a game and stuff like that. But that's why this loss against SKT was so devastating for them, because they lost the game in game 1. Like, the whole series was done once they didn't win that game 1. They weren't able to rebound. They didn't fall apart in the same way Fnatic did, but they definitely fell apart as the series went on because they mentally checked out, because it just goes into the back of your mind like, well, I can't win this. Like, all of their players are better than all the guys who surround me, and that's what they all think individually. So how can you possibly win that series? Like, maybe Soaz can be like, oh well, I think I'm better than Marin, and you know what? I mean,
Okay.
that's fine, but or maybe amazing can be like, I think I'm better than Bengi or whatever. But does anyone really think that Peke's better than Faker? Does amazing think that Feke's better than Faker? Probably not. Does maybe Niels can argue he's better than Bang. But does Mithy think Niels is better than Bang? Who knows? Like, these kind of doubts play into your mind when you're up against such a good team as well.
Yeah, I mean, the game one, it just seemed like Origin threw their best shot, and then they realized, well, that didn't work. We're fucked. And
Yeah.
that was the series.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was
Also,
fine.
Amazing had some pretty
Yeah.
disappointing, like, jump in to try and execute someone
A lot
when
of
he
them.
really
A lot
shouldn't
of them.
have.
I-
And then Bangi looked really good on Jarvan.
Which he's with a surprising
He
pick.
did 2 or 3
Yeah.
games on Jarvan, and he
Nobody had
very,
nobody
very
had
well.
played it really yet. And well, other people fall back to Lee Sin. He was like, "Nope, I'm playing Jarvan, boys. I don't need to use my skin."
Anything else to say about the series? I mean, it was kind of
It was
obviously
yeah.
one-sided. It was one of the more. It was the less surprising 3-0.
I
It
don't.
was the expected 3-0.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was actually like there was like the thing Origin might be able to take a game.
Yeah.
If the two teams played 20 times on over 20 days, then possibly Origin could take a game. You know what I mean?
I could
Obviously,
have taken a couple. I mean, specifically because they played Easy Hoon, I could have seen,
yeah.
or they could have taken a couple games, but
And I'm not having a go at Origin or anything like that. But this is a series it's almost impossible for them to win. You know what I mean? Like, this is such a mammoth task to overcome. Like, this is the best team of 2015 who are known for their consistency. There was the potential for an upset there, really. Like, there isn't one. And then you swap in Faker for game 3. It's like, okay, it's done here.
Just to add some insult to injury.
Yeah.
I mean, Origin is a really great team, and they have an arguably the Rookie of the Year
Oh yeah.
player.
The Western Rookie of the Year, yeah.
Arguably, well, he has to go against Forbidden.
Yeah, for Western Rookie of the Year, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, I mean that's really the biggest argument you have right there is those two, and it's a shame they're not on the same team. But the great play from him in I would say at least one game. The second game he didn't look too great.
So I know this is off topic for this show because obviously it's Korea talk. But this is the one time where we get to talk about international competition. If you had to improve Origin's roster, how would you do it?
Bench,
Do you think Origin should make a roster change?
Yes, benches solo laners. Both. It's the only thing you can do. Like maybe, but no. I would legit just get two new solo laners.
Well, are you saying I have to improve Origin? Yes,
Yeah.
I can't just improve take one player from Origin and improve another.
No, you can't take Niels and put him somewhere else. No, that's not allowed.
I'd probably remove, depending on if you could get Koreans or Chinese players or foreign talent, depending on where they would slot them in, I would try to get them in complementary positions, mid jungle, top jungle, and then try and find someone from EU to fill the other solo.
Okay, I
but
know.
I would change the entire top side of the team.
Yeah,
I would remove Soaz,
sure.
Amazing Xpeke, put in 2 foreigners for either top jungle, and the other ones I'd put in are maybe Odoamne and I guess
Cowboy
Nuke
Shot.
Duck. No, Pepinero.
No, see, I don't know. See, I would maybe consider swapping out Amazing, but then I don't actually think the team should bring in foreign players because of how the team dynamic works on that team
Well,
and how
they're still different players.
yeah.
I don't expect them to change anyone because I think as a team they're more of like we just want to play.
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if Xpeke retired.
he has been saying a lot of yes, no to that. So
Like,
I
mean,
would-
like put it this way.
I
if-
would not be surprised if Soaz or Xpeke retired, but I also would not be surprised if they play another year.
Yeah, but then put it this way: if Xpeke retires now, what the fuck can anyone say to him? Like, he's done everything, Like, the only thing he hasn't like he won the season 1 championship, not a worlds, because there was not international. It was not a world championship. It was a
He won
championship.
the Battle of Atlantic round 1.
Wait, 2 Chinese teams showing up and losing.
No, they weren't Chinese even. They were like Southeast Asian.
Oh, I wasn't sure if they were Chinese. Okay.
They were I watched it. They were Southeast Asian.
I watched it too, but I actually can't remember.
One was Singapore and one was Vietnam.
Oh yeah, right. It was Singapore.
So they
I
won.
didn't see both teams, but yeah, I saw a
So
couple of games.
he won
I
the
saw
se-
CLG versus the others.
he won the season 1 championship. He's won LCS 3 times. He's made semifinals of Worlds twice. Like he's taken games off Korean teams in big important series. He's had breakout performances against Korean teams. Like, I mean, you talk about like IME Katowice. Obviously, everyone remembers it for the M5, but no one actually remembers how competitive Fnatic were against the Blaze lineup, purely because of how good Xpeke was on Nidalee when like it was just spear, and how he fucking landed like 200 in a row or something. He was just chunking people out, and it's like, oh, you've just got to go back again. Like that, like no one like Xpeke is like a really good player, and he could go out. So if I was to improve Origin, I'd probably swap out. And like if I was Xpeke, let's say, I would retire, let a younger, more prospect EU mid laner come in, so that give the team grow, and then maybe bring in a jungle sub or something, and slowly like consider phasing out Amazing unless he performs well, like Ku did with Hojin this year. So I'd kind of keep him on his toes by having a 6th player as a jungler. That's how I would do it personally.
Well, Wisdom actually helped the Ku Tigers for a while.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Well,
what
that's
he
when
was
it became the tank meta.
Yeah, it was legit better.
Yeah, there were times. Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, I'd bring in another style of jungle player and like sort of swap them between the two, something like that.
Oh, wait, anything else to say about Origin SKT? Okay, we can move on to, I would say, such a fun series. 3-0, Ku Tigers, destroyed Fnatic.
It was a bit
And
too much.
I have some fun stats about Game 2.
Wait, before we
Game
get
two.
we get into any stats, just
It was
for
a
context for anyone, last week or no, but actually not last week.
2 weeks
Before
ago.
the series, I made a bet with again this European Robin. He's a lovely guy, really. He's just a bit misunderstood, I think. For £250, that's about $340, something like that.
Yeah,
It's 1.5, 1.6.
Yeah, so you're looking at like between $350 and $400. That Ku Tigers would beat Fnatic. He bet me the other. He came onto this show. He talks about how strong the Fnatic's mentalities were.
they were
how-
a crush Fnatic.
How Forbidden was a lot better than Kuro. How
What? That's right.
yeah, and I made the argument that like wherever like except for that mid lane, Ku were better in every single role. I also said that like Prey had a better champion pool than Records. He laughed at me about that. I still
No, he
stand by that.
It's fucking Ken. Like, Reckless was so bad that whole series.
Like, now, I won the bet.
Played Sever well.
Oh yeah, I won the bet, obviously.
Pressed R.
Well, yeah, that's all he
Funny.
did. Legit, that's still it. Like, he was better than everything else.
But yeah, so I won this bet for some money. So just want to say
Some money.
thank you.
Fucking
Thank you,
shit, £250.
thank you for the money. Thank you for the £250. It was very enjoyable because it was like I worked out each victory was like £90. It was like £80 going into my bank account.
Well,
It was-
When I saw that, I thought you should have bet like if it's a 3-0, you double the money. If
Oh yeah.
like go incrementally
Oh,
going down to just
going into the series, I was genuinely terrified. I was genuinely terrified that Fnatic were going to step up and they were going to surprise me and all this kind of thing. In actuality, I should have just trusted my own analysis because, you know what, I didn't see a way Ku would lose. I wouldn't have made the bet if I thought Ku would actually lose the series, if I thought there was a
Oh, I didn't see
realistic
him lose
chance.
either.
I
But-
thought it would go 3-2, to be
Yeah.
honest. I thought this would be one of the better series at Worlds, but
What I would have said was it didn't matter. Like Fnatic could have won a game. Like for me, the series was over as soon as Ku won a game. That was how I had it in my mind. So I thought, like Ku could reverse sweep Fnatic. Fnatic could never reverse sweep Ku. That was how I had it in my mind. And I just couldn't get over the Smeb versus Huni matchup as well. Huni's a good player. Smeb is a fucking monster. Like
Yeah.
Smeb is
best top laner in the world.
Smeb's a legit top 3 player in the world, regardless of role right now. The guy's fucking insane. And like they gave him his Fiora, in all 4 games. No, so they get.
No. You play
No,
two
no.
different champions.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking about the KT series, but like
Yeah.
in this meta as well, like he's good on everything Hooney's good on, and he's good on all the other fucking picks as well.
Yeah, he's
like the
good on
guy.
This meta finally made everyone. The one-time impact was that died to Smeb 1v1 when Smeb was on Riven, and everyone was like making fun of him. This finally like validates him. He's like, see, it's not that fucking easy.
Turns out, guys, I wasn't that bad at that match. It's just Smeb's actually really good at Riven. Who would have known it?
Like he can play carry champions, not so great at tanks.
He's all right on tanks. Like he's still decent.
Smeb's
decent on tanks. Like, but
not so great. He's decent. He's not like he's there. There is Smeb playing carries, and then there's Smeb playing tanks, and there's like the average is kind of like
yeah. So my point is like I mean, in this series as well, we saw Hooney play. So first off, Smeb picked Riven into Hooney's. Smeb Riven. Yeah, Smeb blind pick Riven. Hooney responds with a Hecarim counter pick. Smeb wins. Game 2, Hooney picks Riven, so Riven brings out Fiora. Game 3, ultimate BM. I'll just pick Hecarim into your Riven.
Yeah,
that's ultimate fuck. And then he fucking bodied him with that.
Oh my!
That was
disgusting.
Game 3
was disturbing.
And that's why I love Smeb, because he's not only is he amazing on nearly everything he picks. Like if he picks a champion, it's like he's going to be good on it. You know what I mean? Like he's never picked a champion. I'll be like, well, that was actually a bit shit. I don't really know what you were doing there. Like I've seen, we all remember the Faker Azir, Severus games and stuff like that. But this year, it doesn't matter what the guy picks. He's fucking bodying bitches left, right, and center. Like, and then the moment he did the 3v1 like against Hooney, like it was just fucking like. When they three-man tried to gank his Hecarim and he goes back in with his ultimate, like he could have just got away, ultimate away, but no, going back in, boys.
And then they were so scared they had to run away from him.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, we need to get out of here. This horse is fucking insane. Like,
well, let's start with game 1 and the closest game of the match, where Fabiven really went fucking off, and it wasn't until Ku Tigers forced to fight at Fit Dragon 5, where either they had to go in or they would have simply lost because Dragon 5, and Fnatic secure the Dragon, but they 100-0 Fabiven in an instant, and that ends the game.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't do any damage, and he completely got destroyed by a massive combo.
It's a problem with Fnatic right there. It's like kill Fabiven and that's it. That team loses.
So I'd also like to highlight the amazing carry potential of Reckless and how he's clearly a great carry champion and is still playing garbage like fucking AD Cannon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I want to point out how fucking I hate AD Cannon and that the win rate is. Like, if you just exclude all the games that Reckless won anyway, because top lane and mid lane was fat as fuck, I think AD Cannon is almost like 0% win rate in this tournament. It's so fucking bad. You can't do anything.
The range is so short on it. Like,
it's great to set up your mid and top laner, but you have no AD. Unless mid or top's AD.
I still, no one's ever managed to explain why you would play AD Cannon when Ashe is open. Like, no one's ever actually managed to explain that to me.
Because we'll get there. Game 2 will prove why you pick AD Cannon and not Ashe. So game 2, I can tell you right now, I've got a little sticky note of things, and this is why Fnatic picked AD Cannon over AD Ashe, because their Ashe is not good.
Yeah, we were counting ults. That was funny.
Oh, I counted ults and where they were shot, how far the distance, whether they resulted in a kill. So.
What I would say as well, it's coming into this tournament, everyone was trashing Kuro. Fucking everyone and their mother was like, Kuro's shit, he's a fucking boosted, he's this, he's that. Come on, the guy's not that bad. Like, the guy had a good tournament. Like, he missed some Viger cages, and he missed some Victor lasers and whatever. But he's fucking good player, like, he farms well, he team fights well, like,
I think he legit played a little. He played He played quite a bit over his usual. He was playing quite well for what we saw in Korea.
His spring performance.
Again, what we saw in Korea was him playing against Coco, against Faker. So against Easy Hoon, where you're playing better mid laners.
Shock horror, again, some Europeans going to get really angry about this. Shock horror, the average mid laner career is average of the higher mid laner in Europe. Shock horror, like, it's a bit harder to play an LCK than it is to play against a European team. Like, this is why I don't get when people are like, oh, if Vivian's going to fucking body Korra. I was like, well, he plays against fucking Coco and does alright. Like, it's not going to be that bad, is it? Like, he's not getting solo killed every fucking game. Like, you don't think he got solo killed once this entire tournament, really.
He got killed by Karsa, I think. Not Karsa, Maple.
Yeah, like, I think Maple's the only guy who managed to get solo kill on him, and that was like LeBlanc versus.
It was not a good matchup.
Like,
Azir or TF? I can't remember.
I think it was LeBlanc versus Azir.
No, wait, he doesn't play as well. He does.
I think he played Azir against. I think he played Azir in one of the losses to Flash Wolves. So yeah, like, and at one point he got bopped by Pobelt as Viger.
Oh no!
Yeah, but that I guess that counts. But that's like, oh, you got hit by Q, and he can just target up, click you and click R. And
I just don't think he was I don't think any Korean team had really practiced against Viger coming into the tournament. Which, by the way, is a sign of Kuro's resilience. Is the fact that midway through the tournament he just picks up Viger and does all right on it. Like, that's midway through the tournament. This guy's not known for picking up champions particularly quickly, but he does it. Like, he actually, and he's quite innovative as well. Like, his Victor is still insane, and he was the fucking guy who brought that out. Like, he was the first one to play Victor. When he played it,
people were like, seem to forget that.
Whoa!
He played Victor when Victor was really bad too. So
exactly, that's what I mean. Like, guy's a genius. I mean, I'm not a genius, but like, he's a good player. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. If I was Q Tigers, I'd take a long look at him and whether or not I should replace him or something like that. But I do think he is a solid.
I think he's definitely replaceable in Korea for what he does. There are a couple other people I would just toss a name out and be like, yeah, you could pick him up and give him a shot. He might be better.
But you got to think, due to the way the Korean team works, you need a free agent mid laner.
That's true.
Akira's advantage that he has he has a very good pull all the time. Like, he picks up a lot of champions and is at always average or above level on most of them. So he's a little bit worse than Assassins sometimes, though he used to have a pretty good LeBlanc and Kesson as well. Like, more in Spring Split, he was actually fucking legit.
And his Yasuo in the summer split was actually legit as well.
Oh
he also picked that. But it was really bad early, but now it got way better. Like, he picks it up eventually, but he has advantage that he can. I feel like that something up to play.
I feel like that Yasuo one day was like, I'm gonna learn Yasuo, guys. You're like, no, don't do that. He's like, no, I'm gonna learn Yasuo. And he picks it like, oh, that was fucking shit, wasn't it? He's like, well, now I'm just definitely gonna do that. He's like practicing it night and day. They're like, no, we need you to practice this here. No, I'm practicing Yasuo. I'm like,
well, he should probably have practiced this here though.
Coaches walk by his solo queue like, are you playing Yasuo? No, I'm not playing.
I mean, but Kuro has he's been like, he does what he needs to do. He is clearly the third carry on that team, and he doesn't like, if he can pull out a carry like he did with the Kassadin, great. If not, okay.
I always thought
we got Prey.
Kuro for me was always like the best like team player, because he just always did what the team needed for him to do. Like, he picked the champions they needed, and he wasn't too picky on them though. He is not always a flash.
Yeah.
He's not always a flashiest or best player. That's why he can definitely be replaced. But he's a solid team player, that's for sure.
It's like, it's almost like Shock Horror, steal from Sam. Your team needs role players. It is a 5-man game, and not everyone can get get above 25% gold share and carry the game. Oh my god! Yeah. Who would have thought the team only has 100% gold to split, and not everyone can get 25?
Sadly impossible.
And what I will say about Kuro as well is his movement, like his footwork with champions is still really, really fucking good. Like, he might miss a lot of skill shots, but he dodges a fucking lot of them as well. Like, people don't realize, because often you don't realize like the subtle nuances of his footwork. Like, I've never seen it more pronounced than in those games against CLG where he was like dancing effortlessly around Pobelter and making him look like a fucking chump. Like,
those CLG games.
But just put this in mind. Kuro has ended Pobelter's career.
I was going to just say that.
Kuro is the reason that Pobelter is getting benched. Just think about that for a moment. Like,
are you sure it was Kuro and not what's his name? Let's go.
Who?
It wasn't Kami?
Oh no. Kuro is the reason that Pobelter went from being like the best North American mid laner to who can we get to replace him? Like, Like, you know it's bad when the
Very
guy you had on
simple,
your bench for the entire year, you just go, I think we're just going to play this guy now instead. Like, you had him on your bench for the entire year. Like, why don't you just play him then? Like,
Oh, we think he's better for the team.
yeah, what?
Sure.
It's better for the team that doesn't have double lift in it, okay? But, like, Kuro the career ender. That's Kuro's new nickname. He's the career ender.
The Western Korea.
Once you play against Kuro and you lose, your team just goes, well, we're going to have to bench you now. Like, no!
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, for game one, this Fibivin really kept him in quite a while. And the biggest question mark that I saw was not only the Zac pick, but the Nautilus support.
Yeah. Like, that Nautilus support from Fnatic, like, the Zac makes sense when you think about it because it's an unusual pick. Fnatic clearly went very practiced against it, and based on how Hojin always falls behind in the early game, it means that in late game team fights, he just presses R, bounces around, fucking disrupts it. Like, that Zackle is disgusting, by the way. Like, people seem to have forgotten how disruptive that is. It's three knockups.
So annoying.
It's 3 fucking knockups.
Well,
like not only that, but you can use it to bounce yourself out of bad fucking situations, or to fucking like just jump in the middle and then bounce the fuck around and knock a fucking everyone. Like,
just jump on your own AD carry to make sure no one can attack it.
Right. And if you're a fucking bruiser trying to get an AD where you just bounce around and like you can't do fucking shit, like what the fuck is this? Like,
yeah. Honestly, looking at the Nautilus, the reason our question is because they had Fnatic banned Tom Kench and Shen, and then first picked the jungler, and then they like, why are you like? I get that Gorilla is great, but Shen,
yeah,
I mean he really played it out of his mind this World Championship, but I don't think the Shen ban was really worth it. I mean, I guess I could see it because Fibivin went Ignite. So they wanted to avoid the global so that he could take Ignite, but he didn't like dominate lane with Ignite.
No.
That was another issue is he took Ignite 2 out of 3 games for why.
Like, I'm not gonna say Fnatic got exposed or anything like that, but you know what? This is Fnatic's level. Like they play against the Fnatic play against a strong Korean team and they lose. Like that. Like, if you're new to League of Legends, this happens a lot. Like, a team gets really hyped up, they play against a strong Korean team, and then they lose. That's the reality of fucking esports right there.
If you watched Champions Summer, I won't call it the LC word, we had the same thing. Papa Smithy and Doa and Monty hyped up KT, and then they got crushed by SKT. Hyped up Ku, crushed by SKT. It's like just another team to SKT, and they're just gonna walk in, just put them down, 1 bullet to the head, and walk on.
Like the sad thing about being a League of Legends pro player is it doesn't matter how good you are. There's going to be a Korean out there who's better than you. Like
even if you're Korean.
Yeah, like, even if you're fucking Korean. Like so, like you know, so he just like Huni definitely got. This was by far the best top laner Huni's ever played against, and it showed. Like Smeb reminded Huni
was easy
why he couldn't make it in Korea.
Well, I think Huni would make it in Korea if he'd stayed, but I think Smeb reminded Huni of the difference of the difference in development they've had, as it were. Like Smeb spent longer in a Kespa coaching environment. He's a more tried and tested veteran. He's been to the lows of his career, and now he's on the up and up and up. And also he
started pretty low.
And he taught Huni some fucking humility as well. Like, you get bodied like that, there's no way you can come out of that series with a lot of arrogance, is there? Like, you get fucking that fucking like, I can't get over that. You fucking just the BM of that last game. Like, I'm just gonna pick your Riven. Like.
I was like, why is he BMing? Just pick. I don't remember what you. I thought he should have.
Not only that, but the 05 on the Riven or 08. Riven 08. Smeb 9-1.
Yeah, just fucking like just disgusting. Like the only thing he didn't do was play the same skin that Huni always plays on Hecarim. That was the only thing. He played the Nightmare Hecarim to like fucking just properly just get into his shit. Like, this is your fucking nightmare, kid. Like.
Okay, well, let's move on to game 2. I'm gonna take a second to read a beautiful post-it note that has. They played Skyner Ash, yes? So
Yes.
after they both hit 6, you think there's going to be a lot of synergy, a lot of ults coming in as Skarner targets, where Skarner's going to pull someone to a certain spot on the map, where Ash's arrow is coming, and it's like going to be this great wombo, and you're like, holy shit, that's crazy. They stunned him for like 20 seconds, and they destroyed him. Well, the first ultimate by Ash was 21 minutes and 30 seconds into the game. And that was point blank top lane to a double kill that was on Fnatic.
Yeah,
That was a Fnatic death. 2 deaths of the Yellow Star and Reckless both died with the first Ash ult, which was literally like, I'm hitting the person standing in front of me. The first ult for Skarner did result in a kill, and was the only Skarner ult to result in a kill. And that was on Veigar mid lane when they crushed him completely.
With Alistar, Flash, and everything.
There was a total of, let's see, 15 ultimates. 4 of them were post, and 3 were instantly cleansed by QSS.
One was useful, and the other 7 were pretty.
So
worthless.
that's 8 ones that hit, resulting in 2 kills, and the only non-point blank, like the only one that wasn't Ash didn't shoot and hit the target on her screen, was from the top of the middle brush going to Baron onto Fiora, who riposted at Baron. That was the farthest in Ash ult went. That was why they picked AD Kennen, because Reckless cannot play Ash.
Oh god.
That was an abysmal performance.
Yeah, his hook shot usage in that game was really uninspiring as well. Like he hardly used it. Like he didn't really provide a lot of vision. Like
I don't get why they tried to pick that away from Prey. Like when they're so bad at
when they had Callista up.
Yeah.
They left Callista up, and they're going to pick Ash
like,
away. It's like,
the worst part is Prey's actually a really good Callista. I mean, his first games on Callista were shit, but now he's a really good Callista. Like,
well, it's just like Lee Sin in Korea.
Okay,
if you can't play Callista, you're so far behind the 8 ball, it's not even funny.
So yeah, he definitely knows how to play, but there are way better Callista players in Korea, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
God.
Okyu is by far the best Callista player in Korea, where he literally will take over the entire game.
Yeah, that's the point. If you think Bang is like this insane AD carry, watch Kespa Cup. Oki's gonna blow your fucking minds. Like that kid's fucking incredible. Like it actually breaks my heart that probably I would say like maybe a top 3 AD carry in the world didn't, and the best AD carry in Korea didn't make it, because I think it's actually a pretty bad display of Korean AD carries, considering that Pilot and Okyu both are on shit teams basically. Well, Jinner on that shit, but we'll get to Jinner later.
Yeah, they are.
And you got Fury as well.
They're not great.
Fury still needs some time to grow.
So game 2, I don't understand the Skarner pick after they had Tom Kench and Zac and Callista pick. Like,
in game 1
you're not going to want to ult the Zac. Tom Kench can eat who you ult, and Callista's going to just hop.
Pick Skarner into Tom Kench. I was like, oh, why would you do this? And the whole thing, like, game 1 they were winning almost because they had a lot of early aggression and the Zac was pretty useless. And then they go Skarner, farm up and never fucking gank ever after level 6. It's like, dude, what's your point? Now you just play into whose hand Hojin can farm up and then be effective in the team fights.
I was imagining a picture of Kakao with one tear coming down going, he did it, boys! He did it! Farm and do nothing!
Like he was impressive.
I feel like if you were making a plan for how to beat Ku Tigers, like, right guys, we got to beat Ku Tigers. What's our plan for the day? Right, I think we should pick a bunch of late game champions and farm late game. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Wait, aren't they really good in the late game? No. It'll be fine. Trust me, we'll be better in the late game. Like you would never pick a passive early game jungler against Ku Tigers. That's exactly what they want to do. Like Ku Tigers are in fucking heaven if you want to play them in the late game. Like that's. Like,
they pick Zac for a reason. Because they don't expect Hojin to do dick.
Yeah, like Hojin.
You can make it to 6. Great.
Like when you're describing Hojin as a player, it's like when he's on Lee Sin, he's good in early game. Anything else, not really. Like,
even stuff like Elise or Rexa, he probably fucks up early game.
Yeah, like he is Hojin is the definition of a one-trick pony. Really, he's a fucking great Lee Sin player. He's not good at anything else really. Like the rest of it, he relies on like off-meta picks and like surprise factors.
Was serviceable. Like his champion was
serviceable, but
nothing is like, wow, he's doing great.
The reason I like
Sin.
What I would say about Hojin is he's mechanically good. Like he has these moments where he like makes these mechanical plays, and it doesn't matter what champion does. He's really, but it's like his pathing and his intelligence is always just not really there. Like he's not as the smartest player, Like I feel like if you did like an intelligence test with all junglers, Hojin would rank pretty lowly in Korea. Like he gets by on mechanics really, which is weird, but yeah. Also, his initiations are kind of bizarre sometimes as well.
He did have a great one though at the onto Azir. Again,
Oh yeah.
The way they won the game was 100%ing Fabivin with that terrific
That was it.
jump and then flash ulting him back towards the team
Yeah, and around
into
Baron,
the
around mid-Baron bush.
into Gorilla being tossed into him.
That was so good. Like the moment I saw the E land on Fabin, I was like, yeah, he's dead. And then the game is over. Like that's
The issue I have is that Fabivin had flash up. He needed to flash the elastic slingshot.
No, don't respect it.
But yeah,
the second
he
I
also came.
CC, it was dead.
It was hard also to see coming because that range is so ridiculous after that buff they did on Zac.
I mean I know it's true that the range was crazy, but like he needed to know that he is the only thing keeping. Like people say, oh, the second game was so close. Second game was not fucking close.
No.
They had 3 inhibitors down. They had pressure on Dragon. They had pressure on Baron. They could have they could have brought Fnatic out in a couple of the team fights. What happened was that they got sloppy in two team fights and kind of let Fabivin stab them to death. And they finally were like, guys, we need to kill him first because he's the only thing that matters.
I think we should focus on Fabivin guy. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Let's do that. I've got him, guys.
Like they were going in on Reckles and Huni and trying to fight them, and it was like,
so underperformed anyway.
They're worthless.
Yeah. Then game 3. God, yeah, game 3. Game 3 was just a pony show. Like holy shit, that horse.
Game 2, they didn't have the inhibitor turrets down yet, and they had 3 inhibitors down themselves. You may have been like, oh, they had some good fights near the end, which they did, but that doesn't make it a close game. Game 1 was close.
Yeah.
Game 2, nah. And now game 3, really,
Like
game 3 was like, is this CLG? Are we watching a replay?
Like obviously, as somebody who's got money on it, I was quite happy that the series was really one-sided after game 1. But speaking from a fan perspective, I'm actually sad that it wasn't like game 1, 5 games in a row, because I think that like Fnatic could have won game 1 and then. But then Ku could have won. If you had I wanted a really close series. I didn't get it because Fnatic, lost the plot. Oh well, shit happens. But no, I think that I think in this tournament as well, it really showed that a lot of people actually don't understand the Ku Tigers. Like coming in, all the analysis I read about Ku Tigers from people who clearly don't watch Korea was so off, like so crazy off. You know what I mean? Like Smeb was horrendously underrated coming into this tournament as well. Like I can't stress it enough.
Smeb and Gorilla, 2 players that didn't make the top 20.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
my favorite tweet about the top 20 list was, half of my timeline is excited that Peekaboo made the top 20. The other half of the timeline doesn't, and they don't know who Aframu is. The other half of the timeline is upset that Aframu is rated higher than Peekaboo.
Like, but Aframu was rated higher than Gorilla as well. Like, but Gorilla's the best support player in the world. Like, how can you do that? Yeah. Like. Unless Mata returns to form.
This year, he's the best this year.
Yeah, like
had a shit year.
I'm not saying like, overall, but this year for sure.
Yeah, like he's
gone.
It's like Gorilla has the same thing that Smeb has, but from a different role. Like he plays everything, he looks good on everything. Like
and he plays shit other people don't even play. Like
yeah, exactly. Like and he was by far the best Tahm Kench in this whole tournament. Like
oh yeah, he was disgusting as a champion.
So, and he
get banned all the time.
And he was fucking great on Shen support as well, which was bizarre. But he was like, oh, it turns out I'm really good at this too.
Because Korean teams were not playing Chen support at all before Worlds.
No, that was brand new pick, at least for Koreans. I mean, you'd saw it before, and it wasn't really that great. Like you saw some teams utilize the ultimate correct, and they played around it, and then other teams were like, we're just gonna pick Shen support.
Like what annoys me about this is like I didn't get to see Gorilla play more. I wanted to see Gorilla bust out the Nami in a game. I wanted to see him bust out his Janna.
I would love to see Nami, but Nami's dead right now with the current.
Yeah, I wanted to see him play his Veigar support. I wanted to see him I reckon the guy could pick fucking Fiddlestick support and fucking start bodying people with it at this rate. Like,
I would try.
Oh, the glorious days of Fiddle support.
God, I'm so glad that's gone.
Stupid fucking fear.
That was no fun.
But just a note I want to have of referencing, as Sam has said, that the certain European Robin said that Yellow Star is gonna fucking destroy Gorilla. Gorilla's stats 4, 6, and 59 with an 88% kill participation. Yellow Star, granted, yeah, these are 3 wins, 3 losses, but this is just the series. This is just the context of Yellow Star being the better support player. Yellow Star in 3 losses was 1, 16, and 21 with 67% kill participation.
I think the kill participation is enough, really. Like when you talk about,
Yeah.
like I talk about, like Yellow Star, like Gorilla roams more, he takes over a game. 88% kill contribution is a sign of a player who's taken over a game. Like the only kills he didn't take part in is the one where Smeb solo killed somebody. That was it. Like
or gangs
it was,
in top lane, yeah.
like Coup Tigers work because either Smeb solo kills somebody or Gorilla roams somewhere and makes a play. That's the 2 things that they do, basically. Like,
Yep.
And there's an and to both of those. Hojin doesn't go full Hojin.
yeah. No, although sometimes he goes full Lee and then he fucking destroys people. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later.
So any other shit talking you want to say on this series before we move on?
I don't need to shit talk. I got £250 in the bank.
Exactly. It's enough shit talking.
No need to shit talk anyone.
Oh,
Just put it in the bank.
All I can say, it was very fun semifinals, and it was. I loved the memes of they're turning it into the Brussels library.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like that,
Oh, that was so good.
that Prey trash talk at the start as well. Like I want to make this place library. And how the whole crowd was booing him. I was like, woo! And Monte Cristo as well. He was like, "Crew, we're gonna win," and then the whole crowd's like, "Boo!" He's like, "Oh, you're all with me then." Yeah. So he fucking loves that. He loves playing the bad guy on stage. You know, the whole crowd hate him. Like he fucking loves it.
He's right though. It was fucking easy
Yeah.
to do.
It's so much better if I would have went to the semifinals because it's so great coming in. You got 2 Korean versus EU, and then both of them are just like 3-0 shit stomps with 1 close game, and just been like, I just wanted to look around and be like,
two.
yes,
Yeah.
bathe in the gloriness that is Korean esports.
Of the 6 games played, 2 were close. Like
The first two. The first two.
Yeah, game 1s.
Like, but the worst part is like, is the difference between Coup and Fnatic like the same difference between Origin and SKT? What?
Yeah.
Like that? But I don't think that was because Coup were actually that much better than Fnatic. I just think Coup got into fucking Fnatic's head and just fucking crushed them. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I said the last time, like stylistically, just Coup just beats Fnatic because they can win the top lane and then let Huni crumble. Prey will actually do shit while Reckless won't do anything, and Kudo won't feed to Febun because he fucking
stand under the turret.
Yeah, he just survives lane against Faker every week. He has to do it against Coco. Like he can't deal with that shit. Like Febun is just another good mid laner.
Febun
like
beasted him on farm every single game.
Yeah, well,
like game 1 he ended 50 CS above. Game 2 over 100, almost 100, and game 3 70. But that's because Kuro's just like, I'm gonna chill under the turret.
Yeah.
And I'm just not gonna let you kill me. You can
I've
freeze all
noticed
you
that.
want.
There's one win condition for your team, and that's me dying. So I'm not going to do it. It's not going to happen, mate. Not going to happen. I'm not.
The only time he really
Game
died
2.
in lane
Game
was
2.
when Alistair came from behind him, punted him out into an Azir wall, into a Skarner ult.
That was so lucky.
That was like, well, I guess you got me. Fuck if I can do that.
I love it if the camera panned to Kuro's face. It's just like, what the fuck is that? What the fuck just happened then? What the fuck was that? Like, just so angry. Like, I'd be pissed if that happened to me. I'd be so angry. I'd be like,
All right.
what the hell kind of nightmare is this?
That's pretty unlucky.
That's
pretty
so-
unlucky.
Moving on to the finals, I thought this was actually pretty surprising that Ku won a game. But then again, on a rewatch, it was like, wow, these weren't really close. If SKT didn't just like, seemingly just like, well, whatever, fuck it.
I have still no idea what they did at that K3. They just kept walking into more Ku members like, yeah, this is gonna work, guys. We're gonna win this fight. Like, what?
The highlights of this.
Game 2, you had the stupid early dive where you traded 2 for 1.
I was like, oh man, this evade is like going
then-
even better than last time. Wolf is like stopping them and like, oh, what the fuck are they doing? Why are you diving Ku Tigers right now? Like, holy shit.
Like, I mean, like, there's still the TLDR of the series is like, I mean, I enjoyed watching Hojin's Lee Sin mechanics, always a treat. And Smeb had a few good moments, but generally it was just SKT just showing how good they are. Like, you know, if
Yeah,
like
they were smarter overall.
yeah, like it just just like even when they're 10k down, they can still look competitive against Coup Tigers. Like it's ridiculous, Like if it wasn't for Smev fucking 2v1ing people under an inhibitor turret, like that game might have gone to SKT in that moment because they had the momentum. Like
Yep.
Yeah. Bengi went out a bit too far. He was just trying to stop the teleport into the team fight because they were trying to push up with just 3. But he really should have waited till Marn was there to begin because he didn't have really any health or any armor. He only had the armor boots,
Oh god.
and he should have stayed. Like he should have stayed down. Okay, go away, cat. Where he, good lord.
It's fine. It's not that loud. Okay, actually,
So where he could have just gone into like the underground and seen where Smeb was and just stay far enough away where he can still see him because he still had the burrow up to cancel the teleport if he needed to. You could have given his life up for that. That would have been worth it. But the way he engaged, and then Marn came in and tried to deal like any damage, and Smeb just got healed to full, and it was like, well, that's good. Good job, guys. Excellent play.
Like, unlucky.
You should dive another turret.
Yeah. And like, I mean, one of the things I like most about Smeb's Fiora as well, because I could talk about Smeb all day, I'm not gonna lie to you, is like when he plays Fiora, his use of challenge on people, like the Fiora ultimate, it always puts it on the perfect, and then it's like the effortless way. He always just manages to just get the 3 procs off, and it's like it's just incredible to watch. Like,
well,
guys,
not only that, but the way he almost always procs one of the hits for the % damage, then recasts it, procs the exact same one again, and you just chunk so hard because it's the true damage, and he just gets. It's outstanding to watch his mechanics on this champion. Unreal compare. No one else in this tournament played it like he did.
Oh, yeah,
no one.
Sure. This pure is a beautiful.
like I'm actually annoyed that we won't get a Coup Tigers Fiora skin because he fucking deserved it over those fucking carry performances he had. Like,
Unlucky.
This is why I didn't get why Marin was the MVP of that series because I was like, Miss Member's a better top lane.
No, he was the MVP of the fucking whole world. That's what they say.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. I don't.
We'll
I
get
would
to
still
that.
say it's either like.
I would never give it to Martin, but yeah, that was so.
I would give it to Smeb before I gave it to Marin, but who won?
You can't give it to the fucking.
At the end-
But that brings up a
MVP
question:
is
who would you give
Smeb.
it to then? Who would you have given it to on SK? SKT.
I would give it to
Either
Faker.
Bengi or Faker.
I would have.
See, my issue is I would say I could give it to Faker. If you're not giving it to Faker, I could see Bangi or Wolf. But both of them had some pretty fucking derp games. Like they both had some games where they just didn't look great.
I don't think
At all.
Faker ever had a really bad game. Like, you should
Maybe
stop guessing it, but.
Faker had bad games during the year, like that game that he lost to Goon. That's one that we will not remember fondly in Faker's career.
Yeah.
But like, how many times has Faker? I think Goon's bodied Faker like twice in his life, like at this point. But I know, right? Like as Goon's crowding around, like I've solo killed Faker a few times. Like, well, fair play to you. I've actually managed to do that. But I would have given it either to Bang or Bengi. I would say.
My issue
I
with
wouldn't
Bang
give it
is
to
that
Bang.
he just never he just gets to sit there and auto attack, and everyone's like, "Oh, right,
Yeah.
we gotta kill Faker and Marin first."
At no point.
Like, no
Bang,
one-
like really did that much.
Yeah.
But Faker, like the point I would actually still give it to Faker's. Like, yes, he didn't always had like outstanding games, but like his rise was fucking disgusting in every game he played, and he picked up so many other champions as well, just seamlessly played out of his mind on it, and he could always also just go play full supportive style. At no point does Martin just, oh yeah, I'm gonna start playing tanks now and support the team, or like I'm gonna actually have some less gold this game. No, Martin every game gets all the gold, gets most of the jungle attention, and gets always all the fucking funds channeled into him. While Faker can still body on anything he play supportive as well. His versatility this tournament and this whole year has just been, while Faker's like the best player ever, but also just this tournament, why he deserved it. Even though he didn't get to play every game, he still deserved that MVP more than Martin, in my opinion.
And you've got to look at it this way as well. Like Smeb takes lower percentage of his team's gold somehow, despite the fact that he's the main win condition for his team. He takes less percentage of their gold, but does more damage to champions.
Stuff like that.
Well, that's my issue with Marin.
Smeb does literally more with less.
If you look at what Marin did on SKTS, he didn't do great. And then he came to K, and he had Faker absorb all of the bans that Myron used to have to absorb himself, and he got to play the champions he's really good at. And given all of the goal, like, the greatest thing about Faker this year compared to his season 3 run is that he got nothing. He didn't like.
What?
If you look
That's
at
it.
if you look at what he was given game 3, like season 3, when it comes to pressure, when
No.
it came to ganks, when it came to the gold share,
It was massive comparison.
and now you look at this and it's like, holy shit, he's still body bagging people, but he doesn't have anywhere near as much pressure, as many jungle ganks, as much
like it's
was-
just,
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine. don't worry.
as much he just did like he doesn't receive anything. Though the greatest mind game, I would say, is to give MVP of the entire worlds to Coma.
oh god, dude, I can't do that. But I would, if it was LCS, I would have done that.
What are you talking about? He brought them to 2 worlds. He's so great.
He's good, but like,
Memes.
Like, so this is what this is
player,
the other,
you know, that's
this is the other thing I would say about Faker is, and one of the things I actually think SKT could be a really good team for a long time to come. We'll get into that later because that's a topic we're going to talk about. But is I actually think that SKT have another level that they didn't actually need to display at the tallest tournament, except for the final game of Worlds, which is you let Faker counter pick his lane and then he just bodies everything.
Yep.
Like, I think this is one of the only times Faker got the legitimate counter pick against somebody and fucking wrecked everything. Like, he fucking annihilated that. That game was nothing to do with Marin. That was entirely Faker. Just
Faker got all the early kills on his
The-
own.
the
You were playing
Marin's-
Ryze, like he kills
Marin's
Kuro bot
death-
lane, TPs to the raid camp, and then helps killing. I think it was Prey. Who was
like, I mean, like, I was watching this. Like, this game made Cassidy look like really underpowered. Like, if you were to,
he is underpowered. That's the point. Like he gets sometimes work, but overall, like there's so many stronger
Like,
ones.
like if you were if you were if you were like an unaware fan or whatever, you watch this, you go, well, this Cassidy champion's a piece of shit. Like, it's just fucking nothing. Like,
Early, we just so little.
Well, I mean, you have that Faker game was just insanity. But Marin, the best reason to not give Marin MVP of the entire season, or the entire Worlds, was just that fucking game. Just watch that game and watch him like try to make plays by himself, and it just get fucking turned around.
because you're the only
Like,
one who died on his team in the last game.
Smeb went 0-2-1, but Smeb still beat Marin in that lane, in my opinion. Like the fact that he Mega Nard, he nard in his Mega Nard, tried to throw, like, missed almost all the skill shots on Lulu, and then got it completely fucking turned around when Hojin showed up, and he was so far ahead at that point. It was unreal what Marin tried to do, and just was like, oh fuck, I gotta bail.
We're gonna get out of here, guys. Like,
I think that was.
And then you have Faker just like, everyone TPs in, he's like, whatever, fucking kill y'all. Like, just, I'll kill everything. I don't give a shit. Come on, just TP in, I'll take you.
Like, I mean, a side note, it was very amusing to watch Megadard jump in, try and jump on the little Lulu. Then Lulu's wild growth on herself. It's like that fucking bit in Pokemon where the two, like, Jigglypuff and Gengar get really fucking big and fight against. That's what it reminded me of, like, these little critters getting really big. That was quite comical to watch, but, like, I mean, I think it's disappointing to see Smeb play Lulu top, because like, he lost his last big game in it as well against KT on the Lulu top.
The biggest problem I had with that series from Kuspart is how they referred too much to their spring split style with Prey on hyper carries and let Smeb play like more supportive shit. Like why is Prey still playing Jinx? All that shit doesn't happen. There are never bans against Ashe or Caitlyn. There's no reason why Prey ever should not play any of those two champions.
Unless you're playing
yeah.
against a shit team, and then just play whatever you want, right?
But still, like, just
Game 1 was really confusing picking ban wise.
like the whole thing that worked this Worlds for cool was let Smeb get the carry champion, let them carry. But that, like, half the fucking games in that finals they didn't actually do that. Like, only in 2 games, and then in the game 4 they just completely revert. Oh, we just won with Smeb being a massive guy, solo killing 2 people and getting an inhibitor turret while we were fucking 10k up and almost even lost it. Let's go give him Lulu in the game 4, because we do not want to win this world finals apparently. Like, that was a bit surprised for their big bans, that series.
Yeah. I think they were more they saw, you could see they left Lulu and Cassidy for last picks, and they just didn't see what Faker was going to play, and they're like, well, this isn't good. and they tried to pick a safe lane where they could either swap if they need to.
But yeah, you're
like,
not gonna put Kessin in
Kassan was
top
the
lane.
weird pick,
You're not gonna put Kessin in top lane, so like you're forced to put the Lulu top lane, and then Kessin is bad mid lane anyway in blind pick because you have so many shit that counters him. So,
yeah, I'm surprised they didn't try and pick more of a second champion that could be swapped into either lane and try and pick whichever one they thought would be a bit better against Faker. But his they didn't see a mid pick, and it seems like they panicked and they tried to pick two champions that might work against it, and
okay, man,
didn't work out. But hypothetical for you guys, interesting one I thought was when I was watching the third game again, and I saw Hojin pretty much steal a triple kill right out of Prey's mouth in game 3. Like, I wanted to see that game play the second time.
The amount of
Prey with the
steals
gold.
Hojin did early game was...
And just to see how much he did. I mean, Hojin snowballed the fuck out of the game.
I mean...
And he did really well.
He did, yeah.
But I was just like...
But come on,
I kind of wanted to see what it would look like.
That moment where you're playing AD carry, like, can I just get a kill, please? Like, I just get some kills. Like
Wolf was like one hit from that, and he kicked him while there were 3 people around him. Like, why do you do that? You already got your warrior. Stop taking kills, Hojin.
Yeah.
He eventually stopped, but like still, like, it's fucking.
I think he just went into solo queue mode and was like, I'm on Lee Sin, like, I've got a couple of kills. Why stop now? Like,
You gotta execute everything with R.
I was surprised you didn't just start fucking buying Last Whisper and shit. Like.
Yeah, what I like. He definitely had stupid buys. Like, there's no reason. I love Hexanker, but why would you ever not buy Sidestone second item on Lee Sin? It's legit the best item you can buy, offensive and defensive. There's no reason ever to go a Sidestone second item on Lee Sin. Like, it's fucking retarded.
It gives you so much horrendous amount of utility as well. Like.
Yeah, that's the whole point. And the weird buys that constantly delayed game, but SMAP this farm difference, like that whole game was insane. So you could just win the game. Because in game 2, like, it was never that big, and I liked how they used Rumble, which is weird, because like the fake SKT seemed to like revert back to like an older style of them, where they were using Silver for picks, and Martin was playing Rumble the whole time, which is something they hadn't done in a long time at least.
You got to remember as well, like, the rumor is that, like, I mean, SKT said that Ku Tigers are the most impressive team in practice games across the entire thing. Now, they would have scrimmed a lot of teams, but I think these teams had scrimmed each other a fucking shit ton once they got to Worlds. You know what I mean? Like,
Probably they were different.
Like,
groups.
They were in different groups. They were on different side of the bracket. Like, I think they would have been fucking scrimming each other. Fucking, like, I mean, like, you know, you would always want to scrim the best team as much as possible. And I think in that situation, they're both like, well, you each, you know, like, because apparently, again, in the SKT interview, he's like, yeah, Ku Tigers are the best team in scrims, like, and then they were the best team, second best team in the whole tournament, like. So I think that those two teams have developed a weird, like, kind of familiarity with each other, which is what resulted in some of these weird draft phases, because they kind of knew almost too much about each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, some of those like excuse Ku from picking Prey,
No.
Jinx.
No, I mean, I still would have preferred to see Ku play Prey on utility,
But
and
It was
Ku-
funny the Ignite mid lanes the whole time, or first Faker picks Ignite and Kerr pick. Like, that was pretty fun though. Like how they stopped using TP and just like, oh, we're gonna try and kill each other.
Like, I mean, but when you think about Ku, what are the champions that the AD carries they play really well with? Ashe and Kalista are the big two, really. Kalista works well because it means that, like, it allows Prey to support Gorilla, which is a weird concept, and allows him to, like, do some sick Alistair and Tom Kent shit with it.
Yeah,
and
kind of got permabento.
and
Smart.
Ashe, because it allows Prey to initiate, and he's really good with the hawk shot as
Yeah.
well, which frees Smeb up to play Fiora or Riven and just start fucking wrecking faces with it.
Well, I think the hawk shot's primarily helpful for Hojin.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
also
yeah, yeah.
It keeps him so safe in the jungle early, which is his biggest weakness.
The Ashe tried to cover up the early weakness on Ku by creating so much vision.
So obviously, Ku is a team we know a lot more about than like Fnatic or anything like that. And we have a lot more authority about them. How would you improve Ku Tigers going from here?
How sad
Hojin
it
and
sounds. No, I actually would get rid of. For me, it's Prey and
I would-
Kuro. Also Hojin, but like I can, as long as I know different journals coming, Hojin can still kind of stays. But they need a more solid. Prey is too limited in his pool, and Kuro is like there are too many players that can like upgrade him.
What I would say about Praise, he's got the XPK thing of, if he retires, what can anyone say to him now?
Oh yeah, I definitely have no problem with that, but I think that would definitely improve.
Like when you look at Prey's overall career, he might be the third best Korean AD carry in the history of League of Legends,
Well, my thing with
Oh.
Prey is,
especially in terms of results.
if we look
You
at
have
Prey,
Imp and Deft already, like, I would still.
Yeah, so you got Imp Deft, and then it's like Piglet or Prey.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Piglet had more. Piglet made it to the world, won OGN more, but then he also played with the best player of all time in every single thing he did.
That's a bit.
Prey and Piglet had both the same point where both of their careers were in the dumpster, but Piglet goes to NA and doesn't do much. Prey recovers and makes it to the world finals. That's what I would say is the difference between them. And not only that, but Prey has had a longer career as well. You remember Prey's been around since season 2.
Prey has been long.
Like, I remember watching Prey's debut and be like, oh, this guy's actually really good. Like, this is pretty. Like, this was back when. You remember Prey is the original good Korean AD carrier as well. When Prey was playing League of Legends originally, the Korean ADCs that everyone was talking about was Woom and Captain Jack and Loco Doco. Those were the big three carries.
Did they ever call Loco one of the top 80 carries?
No, I'm just saying those were the big three. Those were like the sort of...
Captain Jack, sure, but
yeah. Now
at his time.
he was the best. He was for a long time like a top 380. Like there was a moment where like, you know, he was like when Wei Zhao was in his absolute dominance. I think Prey was not that far behind him at all. Like I think Prey was very close to the same level as Wei Zhao when Wei Zhao was the best player in the world. Like, and in that, like, and this is what I mean about Prey. Like, I actually think that Prey right now, if there was any moment for him to actually retire, this would be the moment. He came back, he had a fucking great year, he reached an OGN finals, he reached the world finals. Like, he had moments where he looked fucking insane on his Corki. In early spring, he was fucking ridiculous on that pick as well. Like,
it's been an interesting year for Prey.
If you're gonna go out now, do it now, mate. Like that's what I would say to Prey. Like if I was just,
it would definitely end on high notes.
This is the moment to retire. If I'm your mate, like
the more impressive thing for me for Prey was the Lucian picks against Najin in the finals because he just played. Like, he played Lucian only those games, and he was doing it very well.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to his, like, the next series, he just goes back to his normal play.
Even on Monte Cristo going, oh yeah, Prey's a really good Lucian. I was like, he's not, I don't think he liked playing Lucian. I think he just realised, well, if I play Lucian against OQ, then it's a takeaway from OQ.
Yeah.
He's fucking insane on Lucian.
Yeah, because
if I take it away, can't. Like, I can't.
If OQ got Lucian, that's serious. Like, they would definitely.
Oh, well, if OQ got Lucian, who is Prey going to play into it? Like, Prey would get totally. All of his normal picks would have gotten totally fucked by Lucian. But also, I would say his innovation with Ashe this season and this year is great. But I still, until we can see more of the actual AD carry changes, I would be very hesitant to try, like, if he retires, to force him into that. If I was the team, I would still replace Kuro or Hojin with someone like Spirit, a jungler that can go off at times, but is also can just be a cleanup player and can play tanks if need be.
But who are you going to replace Kuro with?
Kuzan, GBM, someone like that.
Yeah, what do you mean?
More of a.
I can tell you, GBM is not staying in Korea.
I understand. I'm not saying GBM. I'm saying a GBM Kuzan-like player.
Okay.
Someone who's going to play the Easy Hoon. Easy Hoon.
Yeah.
Someone who's going to play the control mages doesn't need to be the one that makes the plays. He can follow up on stuff because you'll have Smeb, you'll have Gorilla, and then you'd have Spirit to be your main people who can make the plays, and you have Prey, who as long as like his champion pool can stay in significant, and he can continue to be very more of an initiative AD carry, I would say keep playing. You're doing great, and you would be another role player on the team with the mid laner who just would follow up with the damage.
Would you not?
That's what I would see for Ku. To keep their style and replace players, but mainly I'm looking at keeping Ku's style of having the top lane and the support really be the main carry and play make.
Yeah, that I can understand that, but like I would say that. Like, I mean, if you're looking to, I mean, I think Prey's easier to replace than Kuro is what I'm saying. Like, I would say that, like, I mean, you swap in a player like OQ over Prey, that improves Ku Tigers right there because that gives them another dimension. That's what I mean. Like,
but it also kind of changes a bit of the playstyle in a way because right now, but of course, Ku has shown that they can play with Prey as a carry with so it's not impossible, of course. Like
They almost seem to prefer to play with Prey as a carry.
yeah, I actually think so too. Definitely because Defiant.
I think as a team they actually prefer to have a bot-centric team. Not only that, but imagine Gorilla and OQ in the same lane together.
You would be so happy for your hamsters, man.
First off, I've got hamsters named after that possibility. But secondly, like that lane would fucking melt faces. Like,
Yeah.
They could have had that if
That's-
Najin didn't decide to.
well,
dumb.
Najin doesn't pay his players anything, so you know, I can't blame him for leaving, can you? Really? But like this is what I mean. Like, you look like we've seen OQ go 8-0 in lane against like Fury, against like fucking incredible players. He's just fucking wrecked people on Corki and Callista and stuff like that. Imagine him teamed up with Gorilla, the best support in the world. Like, that would be insane.
For sure.
Like, and this is what I mean. Like, I think it's somewhat easy to replace Hojin because the problem is we don't know what players are coming back. That's the problem. We don't know. We know that Spirit's coming back. We've seen on the interview.
Oh, God,
It
yeah.
I'm
fucking
making
breaks down.
hypothetical.
Yeah.
I'm trying to replace but keep the play style. If I could replace and change it totally, you get a more like a Bengi like jungler and a maybe Easy Hoon mid, and then you pop in the fucking nutbag OQ, and you've got a team.
God, that team would
I would rather see Easy Hoon on KT than on Ku though.
I mean, Easy Hoon like you want to have a person who's going to play.
Katie would
the-
like get. Yeah,
the support. I'm just saying, if you want to replace, like, if you want to put Spirit in, or you want to put OQ in, you'd want to keep a role player in the mid lane. You don't want a crazy person who's going to go off and go crazy. You want someone who's going to be solid and constant every single game. You know what you're going to get from him.
But in that situation, is Easy Hoon not too gold reliant? Then would he not take too much gold away from Smeb?
No, I don't think. Easy
I really don't
does it
think
that
so.
much.
Easy Hoon just sits in a fucking lane and pushes that fucking lane
Yeah.
out. Like I would say, if you look at Marin, who on a couple of his Renekton games moved throughout the map and stole all the jungle, took 2 lanes, kept pushing lanes, kept taking jungle. Easy Hoon just seems to like take a jungle camp maybe every so often, but he just like plops in lane, just like scene 45.
I definitely think that Ku will make roster changes. I definitely think that they will. Like, and I get that they're really good friends and stuff like that, but this is definitely a limit. They've reached their ceiling as a team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I said.
This is as far like you can't have lose a series that one sided, a big series like that, and go let's just keep things going. Like, it doesn't really work like that. I don't think. Like,
I don't see them as we're gonna get into the Kespa Cup. I don't see them beating SKT. But do you want to jump on that topic, or do you want to jump to one small topic? Okay.
No, let's do Kespa first.
I would say there's only one other thing I had to say is, do you guys think that was a close series?
No.
close-ish.
Even the
was-
game 3, if it wasn't for the derping of them walking in 1v1, like one at a time, I don't see Ku winning a game.
See, I made the argument. I thought in my head, rather not made the argument. I thought in my head that if once Ku had taken game 3, there was a chance, not a large chance, but there was a chance because SKT was so not used to losing that they would make more and more mistakes. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's not how SKT works. Like, they're not
No,
gonna fucking
not at
mentally
all. I
break
had
down, dude.
Thought never crossed my mind. Mine was like, oh, they're gonna play they're gonna show something, and then they didn't. They just put out Rise, and I was like, okay.
They
I
just
was
the
like,
complete opposite.
they're just gonna play a different style. They're just gonna give Faker the game.
Okay.
I did.
I just that was the back of my head. That was their win condition for Ku was SKT fall apart.
No.
Just tilt them.
Yeah, just tilt them.
Yeah, that works with.
SKT had tilted. We can win this, boys. Like, yeah.
Sorry, there's no Cassiopeia top in that game, buddy.
No, I mean, I didn't think the game was like the series was that close. I thought the series was pretty high level, and I thought that Ku had moments where they looked good.
I thought game 1 was actually very, very good from both teams. It took such a long while, and there were always like these close times. But SKT always like find that one fight after a very long time that Ku held them off. That they then kept snowballing. Like, they had that bot lane fight where they had like faster TPs, then the mid lane fight where they were able to catch out Prey, and those small things. But it was a very competitive, strategic game. But then like game 2 just went a bit weird.
My
but then
issue for
SKT
game 1
always
was just
better.
everything was in Prey. The second they killed Prey,
And that's why I was so fucking annoyed with the big bench, because that's not how they play, and that's That happened like against Flash Wolves with the Jinx too, so I'm not entirely sure why they kept doing that. Not when you can't play Tom Kench next to it, so Gorilla can save it.
I mean, we all remember the beauty of watching Gorilla eat someone, throw them onto the Jinx traps, and then just watch him pray, just fucking mow them down, like dead. Like, I mean, we all remember that was a beautiful thing to watch him just do that to CLG players over and over.
When that
over
came
again.
out, I was like, holy shit, I totally didn't think about that. Like, because I don't play the game, it's just like, holy shit, this is insane.
Dude.
This is absolutely insane. This is so dumb.
Like
dumb.
that game was a wet dream for any AD carry player. Like, just to have somebody just continuously put people just near enough to you so you can shoot them, but not have to move around. Like, I always say, like, AD carries, what they want is just to stand still and shoot people. Like, they don't actually want to kite anything.
Definitely
Soon they can with Kog'Maw.
But
gotcha.
Here's an interesting point. Is anyone surprised the fact that we didn't see any Darius in the final?
No.
I think Darius, like, after group stage, you started to see Darius fall off a bit, and KT, like,
You hated the Darius first pick.
No, I hate the Darius pick, but
I hated.
I was being called an idiot and told it was an amazing pick, and
No, because like the way both their pools don't like they can play Darius, but they don't prefer it. After groups, they both like I don't think even one player touched it either. Like because it's way better to go for like like Marn had his Rumble, Swap is Riven, and then they have Fiora overlapping and Renekton. Wait, I'm actually not certain place Renekton, but I mean that way other picks that were better counters, better in team fighting.
I think the problem with that Darius pick is when Sunday lost to Smeb's Fiora with Darius. I think a lot of players, I think both Marin and Smeb were like, maybe that Darius isn't actually that great.
Oh yeah, you can't skill it so easily and then beat him.
That's what I mean. I think after SKT saw KT lose to Ku with the Darius into Fiora, they're like, well, that's no longer a counter for that. Like, it just fell out. The issue with Darius is that I truly still think that Darius requires the other team to derp for you to for you to do anything. And all the pentakills he got this championship were because the team engaged when they shouldn't have into a very, like, I wouldn't say it would choke because they weren't always really small, but they engaged into a pathway where the Darius could just sit there and continue to kite and deal damage while he can heal with his Q.
You got to remember as well, Darius's range is actually pretty large for a bruiser as well. Considering when you think about other bruisers and stuff like that, his Q range, for example, is actually pretty large. Like, he can actually kind of
the rest is pretty short though.
Like, he actually, but I think I'm just talking about like the danger zone for Darius is actually like some like larger than most bruisers. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, he's not very mobile like a Fiora or like a Riven or anything like that. But like, you compare him to like a Shyvana, for example. Like his rate, the danger zone around him is larger.
Sure.
I think.
Yeah. My issue with the Darius is that unless you need someone, like, unless the enemy team screws up, you're not gonna have a successful pick.
Yeah,
you should never be able to, because a solid unit of team will never let the Darius they will kill the Darius before they do anything else, and the Darius won't be able to do much to actually be a threat or ever be useful. Because the Apprehend is such one cooldown, it's acceptable at level 5, but if you don't grab anything first time, then you're pretty useless.
So, Kespa Cup?
Yeah.
I want to say I have only one last thing about the championship. We're all done. Is this? Were you guys also not impressed at all, like, by the showing that was last week, the hype or lack thereof?
Yeah, I said it on Twitter. Like,
yeah,
you wouldn't even realize it's a fucking Worlds Finals. Like this weekend, it's like there's nothing going on.
If it was Fnatic versus SKT, it would have been unbearable. But it was Ku versus SKT, so Riot didn't really try.
It's like everyone's like, well, yeah, Korean's gonna win, so like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, like the amount. I'm sorry, yeah. If you okay, so I just want to say you are an idiot. You are a class A idiot. If you see an all Korean non-Korean final and you go, oh, I don't want to watch that match anymore. Like you are like I saw post people say, oh, I want to sell my ticket. I'm not hyped for the final anymore. Like, you know what? Like, you aren't a fan of League of Legends. Stop pretending to be one. Like, if it actually bothers you, the nationality of teams, like, I can understand when you follow a particular league or something like that. That's fine. But you're meant to be watching Worlds. You should have watched these teams play a good amount anyway. If you can't get hyped up for the idea of a final between two teams because your team didn't, like, I don't even understand where that kind of train of thought comes from. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand you being more hyped for Fnatic versus SKT, but I don't think. But just saying I don't want to go anymore, or I'm going to boycott the final. That right there is fucking dumb as shit. I think.
Stupid.
I think a lot, like, and actually people that went actually had enjoyed the finals and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it
like-
seemed like the finals is pretty like once it
People
started,
liked
it
it,
seemed
yeah.
like the games themselves are pretty
The crowd,
exciting,
the
and
crowd,
the crowd was excited.
the crowd in Germany was a lot better than the crowd in fucking Belgium.
Yeah,
That was a
it's
fucking terrible crowd. Fucking booing players and shit. Like, fucking get some
so
class.
many
Like,
boos. I feel bad for my country. But to be fair,
It's
we're
okay, Peter.
probably more.
You've accepted the great Korean dick,
yeah,
Sort of.
just like
Yeah.
all of us.
you're a Korean dick sucker enthusiast. Enjoy it. Like,
Yes, exactly. All right, let's go to Kespa real quick.
So yeah, Kespa Cup.
Yeah.
So the round of 12 matches are Najin versus Anarchy, Pathos, which is a challenger team, versus Young Boss, another challenger team.
not young boss, young boss.
Young Boss.
Oh.
I am versus Jinair. Samsung versus Ever, another challenger team.
Yeah, they made
Winners versus CJ,
Another
Another
challenge
challenge
team.
and then Spenu versus Ku, another challenger team.
Wait, no, it's Benny on a challenger team.
Let's be
No.
real.
Okay, that's
Outside Assassin and Flaw, that team's a fucking challenger.
Floor is fucking legit though. Who is not excited for Floor this next
I
year?
am.
Like,
but
I'm actually
Like,
I'm
really
still
excited.
not excited for their top lane.
the worst part is there was a point where I was like, Peter's gonna be the best jungler next year. It's gonna be amazing. And now I'm like, who's Peter? But it's all about Floor. I'm all on that Floor hype train right now. I want to see that Lee Sin. Like, this is why I like Lee Sin as champion. Every time I think, oh, someone is amazing with Lee Sin. Someone else turns up and he's better with Lee Sin, and I'm like, how is that even possible? Like,
Korea's red.
My
It's
favorite
better
thing
than
about
Lee
Lee Sin, I forgot who said it, but when you die to Lee Sin, you know they outplayed you. And if you kill someone with Lee Sin, you know you outplayed them. Like, there's no stupid, oh, I got hit by
Yeah.
Vager's E from the bush, and then he 100%ed me in a half a second. That was fun.
yeah, like
It's just straight up, I outplay you, or I get outplayed.
the worst part about Floor as well is he looks like he's like spent the last 10 years just playing Lee Sin. Like, he looks like he's like spent 10 years just playing Lee Sin, not sleeping, eating, or having sex with anyone, and then now he's left to play professionally. Like, where did this kid come from? Why is he so good with Lee Sin? These are the questions I want.
Better
answered
question
right
is-
now.
He's on Spenu. Why has he not been playing? Like, do it and catch. I'm sorry, but
Any
you guys
other fucking...
nowhere. Like, just
Yeah, that's it.
if he's been on like their B team or like on the training team and he wasn't pulled out earlier,
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with you, Spenu?
Catch is like, oh, my...
Like, they were playing catch for fucking ages.
all the time. It's fucking...
The issue with Flaws, he still has to play with Sword or Soul, and Vivid or Secret. So
Yeah.
God,
still got a bit of trash needs to be taken out.
how is it?
Yeah, just to quickly give some context as well. Obviously, Spenu don't have a head coach anymore because their head coach was convicted of the criminal charge of match fixing in StarCraft 2. Match fixing is a dark subject in StarCraft because it seems to happen more often than it probably should. Just to give you some context, there were some Pro League matches that were very suspicious from Spenu players. And what you also don't understand is Spenu in League of Legends are Prime Optimus's League of Legends team sponsored by Spenu, but in StarCraft it is actually StarTales, I believe's team. But it's like a weird thing where like Prime still have a League of Legends team. No, Prime still have a StarCraft team. It's just basically Spenu bought Prime's League of Legends team off them. They didn't sponsor them. They kind of bought them, and then they bought StarTale's StarCraft 2 team. So Spenu now are kind of without a head coach, which is sad because there was a point where I actually liked Gerard and I actually thought he was a sensible guy and a coach, and now I know he's a match fixer. Apparently, he had a lot of issues with debt, and he was constantly asking family and friends for money. I think he probably owed some money to some bad people. Apparently, there's some gangsters involved in this whole thing as well. And some brokers. I'm trying to remember the players that were banned.
Honestly, though, if you also look at like Asian culture, gangsters still exist.
Yeah.
Like, there's entire cities in Japan that are more or less owned by a gang group.
I don't know.
But the funny thing I have to say about this is, if you look at Taiwan, they had a potential match fixing, and they were fined almost 6,200 USD.
But okay, so but the interesting thing about the match fixing is that while Gerard was the head coach of the Spanu League of Legends team, he was not the head coach of the Spanu StarCraft 2 team.
Yeah.
He was the head coach of the Prime StarCraft 2 team. This is why the ownership is and the sponsorship is very convoluted. Now, the Prime StarCraft 2 players that were banned were Yoda and Bong Bong. Yoda is a IM world champion.
Yeah, I used to watch that game.
And came second place in WCS Europe. He's playing Europe as well. Bong Bong, Boom Boom, Bong Bong, whatever you want to call him. He's not really that impressive on the other side of things. But also, Marine King is also meant to, like, he had a match as well, which was very, very suspicious. If you understand Craft 2, it was very, very bizarre. Basically, he saw something which he didn't act on it. But it was like, if he acted on it, he would have won the game, but he chose not to act on it and lost the game very quickly.
Oh, yeah, that's noticeable for shit. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like, now, MKP has been cleared of match fixing, but it's still very specific, especially considering what a legend of StarCraft 2 he actually is, and what a before beloved player he was. Now his rep's in the fucking dirt. So, it's anyone now without a a head coach. They probably will fill the role very quickly. They've actually got, I think, a fair amount of money behind them right now. For a Korean team, anyway. I mean, obviously, they're still...
Chani's looking.
But Gerard is no longer the... And also, if you go back and you watch Spenu's games in the relegation match, you can actually... I don't think Gerard was in the booth with them, because he's not, like, that kind of League of Legends coach, but he was actually around, so he actually was fairly, like, active in the League of Legends team as well as the StarCraft 2 team at one point in time.
Well... The funny thing is that they could have thrown matches in League, but this team would need to be competitive.
Yeah, if they were... Yeah.
So other than that, I want to just pick winners, what we think. I mean, this is still going to be... This is soon, but there's still chances that new players could be signed, considering Chinese, I believe their window to trade players is open now, so... We may see some different things, but...
We may see some different things. I think if we just do, like, quick fire predictions over the whole thing, and then we can talk about it.
Okay, yeah. Do we... I guess the thing we should talk about with this, because we can do this in a later episode, is... SKT, are they going to win this? And then the winner of this gets the seed in IEM.
If they can, yeah, they will...
Will SKT win that again?
So
will SKT win out the rest of the year is basically quite the thing.
Logic would tell you that SKT will win Kespa Cup because they're the best team in Korea. History will tell you that...
even history says it, because they won Winter flawlessly, mate.
So history will tell you that they won't win it because they didn't win the WCG Korea qualifier.
Oh no!
Remember? They got smashed because they clearly did not look like they gave a shit. Now I understand it. If SKT don't want to give a shit right now, 100% get it. You just won Worlds. Why would you give a shit about Kespa Cup at the end of the day? But so really, it's SKT's decision if they win or not. If they go back to Korea and they start practicing, they continue to practice really hard, they'll win. If they go back to Korea and they go, let's go on a vacation
go to
for
Hawaii
a couple of weeks, they won't win. So
that's also my only argument. Like, if they care, that they will win.
I think they'll turn up in Champions Spring again. Strong. I don't think they'll win Champions Spring. We'll get to that later. But I also predict they wouldn't win Champions Summer last year. So what do I know?
What do you know?
So
jokes.
Just a quick, it's just a case of whether SKT give a shit. I don't think KOO will actually give a shit really about this tournament. So if you're looking for KOO to really turn up, I actually think KOO are quite likely to not really want to sort of maybe take a few days vacation, that kind of thing. Maybe they won't show up as much in this tournament.
Yeah, maybe they'll
probably get to round of 8, maybe round of 4, depending. Because I don't think they're going to lose to Spenu, but...
Yeah.
No, they don't even have to try to win.
I expect SK, like all things standing currently, I expect SKT to win this. And even if they don't give a fuck for the first bit, they don't have to play until round of 8.
Yeah,
so they don't have to play
they
for
have
another
more
whole
time, so but they do have to adjust to new patches, because I assume it's not going to be the World's patch they're going to play on. So
Okay, so
Not that much change, but still a bit. So
predictions for the round of 12.
can you tell the
Najin
matches
versus
again?
Anarchy. I think Najin
Yeah,
will win.
Najin.
Najin, yeah.
Well,
I have no idea.
Actually,
Pathos young boss. I have
Pa-
no idea.
I think
Pathos.
Pathos, yeah,
Either
Pathos.
team.
Pathos.
I am Janair. I think Janair.
Yeah.
I want to see what Jitner's roster looks like though, because I actually,
It's probably Kuzo.
actually it's I am. Never mind. Just Najin.
Yeah.
Jitner.
Samsung ever. I think we can choose Samsung.
Oh yeah, Samsung. I'm all on Samsung hype trade for this year, even though I haven't seen if they actually made decent roster swaps. And
Does anyone know why Dark Wolves aren't competing in this?
No idea.
No idea.
Maybe they disband it.
That would be sound logical, actually. Okay.
Yeah. Challenger teams they tend to disband.
They disband usually if they don't win. If they don't
Yeah.
make it, they disband until
It's amazing that
the thing starts up again.
Evers is still playing.
CJ versus winners,
Or
CJ.
winners. Yeah.
CJ, yeah.
CJ for sure.
and then Ku Spenu. I think Ku is going to win.
Yeah.
The most
I don't think round of 12 is very up in the air outside
mo-
of
the
Janair.
most exciting thing about Kespa Cup round of 12 is the chance to watch Korean teams we haven't watched play for about 4 months play again and see who's actually left on their roster, because
Yeah,
nobody
that's-
actually knows.
That's
This
interesting.
is the entire roster off-season drama for Korea. We'll find it all out in 2 days. That's how efficient Korea is at all this
Yeah.
shit.
It's a bit longer.
Well, that and this will be a huge, I would say, place of testing.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if they see beat the second team that they don't officially have any more play.
If you just watch the finals and you're like, oh, I actually really enjoyed watching Korean League of Legends, watch this, because this is where it all starts. This is the nitty-gritty of Korean League of Legends right now.
And-
This is watching
Yeah.
shit teams play less shit teams.
They will have probably English casting, but it won't be like the regular casters that you
No, it'll be someone
know
else.
of.
I don't know if it's gonna be streamed on Twitch, but I think it probably
They'll probably
will.
have English casters after
They will have
round
a
of,
stream, but yeah, it
for
might
round
not
of
be-
8, round of 4, and finals. They'll probably have
Yeah.
Doa and Monty for those, but I don't think they'll have it for round of for.
I heard that Doa and Monty aren't casting the Kesper Cup at
No,
all.
yeah, me neither.
Really?
It's probably gonna be like other English casters from StarCraft.
I heard
maybe.
that it's possible that you might even see ESL casters casting the event.
Yeah, but
Due
I
to
mean,
the fact
we'll see.
it's almost in partnership with ESL, and ESL and Kesper are actually pretty close. So
Interesting.
We'll share information on Twitter if we find stuff out
Yeah.
about.
we'll
streams.
find out. No one knows really who's going to, except for the people who are obviously going to be doing it. No one knows quite yet who's going to be casting that thing. So, but yeah, it should be fairly interesting, but one-sided games, I would say.
In beginning, and
Yep.
then we'll get to round of 8. It should be like more entertaining.
I think SKT plays the winner of Pathos versus Young Boss, so I don't think SKT really has to give a shit to round of
I
4.
don't even have to care. Is all what's the format? Best of 3?
Three.
I think it starts off best of 3.
Judging by the amount of time in between these matches, I would say it's best of three. Best of 3 in the round of 12, and maybe
Finals are
best of 5.
best of 5.
There's round of 8 best of 3, or
Finals. It seems like it says here the only thing is
Yeah,
finals are best
okay.
of 5. So
just as some context as well, if you've never watched the Kesper Cup before, Kesper Cup's been happening since last year. It's just this is our first time it's happening with the League of Legends teams. In StarCraft 2, Kesper Cup normally involves players who do very well in WCS Europe, WCS America, and WCS Korea, all competing in one kind of big tournament. Generally, the players that compete in WCS Korea, because it's the best region in StarCraft 2, do well, even though they're all Korean. The Korean Koreans are the better than the European and the
Yeah.
kids.
In StarCraft, you have Korean Koreans, NA Koreans, and European Koreans.
Yeah. And you're now having that as well in League of Legends, and but there's Chinese Koreans as well.
Also, you don't have that.
But it's still a case where Koreans are the best Korean, and that's why Kim Jong Un would probably be the best League of Legends player. It's Korean you could ever have,
The biggest Korean.
the most Korean possible.
But from the strong Korea there. That's the difference.
But yeah, so it should be fun to watch at least anyway. And we won't know. We can talk more about it once we actually see some of the games and we know what some of the rosters these teams are playing around with. Who knows if Floor's even still on Spenu? I don't. Katie might have bought him for all we know.
that'll be that's the play. Who's playing is going to be the most interesting thing. But
Yeah, Imagine going to play Peanut and Tank, or will we see?
Please, Peanut. Actually, I just want to see Kun gone. I would shoot him myself.
They replace him with a bag of flour, and you're like, yes, this is still an upgrade. Who's this bag of flour can't die in the mid lane?
Yeah, he
And
won't
Jin-
take all the gold. That's a point. Kung takes all the gold and then just runs
Yeah.
away and does nothing.
It does nothing mid-game. Okay, well, I mean,
Would
is there
Jin-
anything else you guys want to bring up?
It's just a question like, will Jin play Kuzan or will they play GBM? Will they
I'll play
play
Kuzan.
Pilot or Captain Jack? Will they play
I
Winged
don't think
or
GBM is gonna play.
Chaser? Will Trace
Well-
still have a career?
For me, it's mostly Jinna and Najin. When because Jinna has so many players, I don't know what their actual roster is gonna be. And Najin just yeah. CJ like if they don't kick all their players except Coco, I'm not even like I don't even care really.
You could realistically keep Bad Life, but that's it really, isn't it?
That's it. That's legit the only thing. But even then, it should still be gone. It's just like it's the same thing at TSM. Like and they actually did it. They got rid of everybody except yours.
Yeah.
Finally, Jesus.
Yeah,
You could
the
have
thing-
kept Lost Boy, but it's not a good fucking idea.
I'll say the interesting thing for Jin Air is going to be, is Chaser still on the team? If he is, he'll probably be playing. And is GVM still on the team? And if he is, he probably won't be playing.
Cool. I think that wraps this episode up then.
Yep. Thanks
That's
for
about it.
watching. Yeah, not sure if we'll be back next week or the week afterwards. Depends how interesting the Kespa games are.
Yeah, you can come back and talk about them. We'll see.